Hey everyone, and welcome back to Dozer, which is Loli Dress Up Simulator. That's right, so today let's dress up our Loli even more. So hopefully, yeah, at the end of the previous episode you enjoyed all the sounds and sound effects that this game has to offer. So yeah, we listened to all of them, and yeah, today let's dress up our little Loli girl even more, because I have even more these unlock codes for you. So today we'll be concentrating on level 2 access codes and level 3 access codes. So let's start with level 2 access codes. So now we'll be entering this Enigma room again. We'll be fiddling around with this Enigma machine once again. So yeah, first code that we'll enter now will be the level 2 access code. So with this code you can enter all the previous codes that we entered in the previous episode, and also these upcoming ones we shall be entering. So technically you don't need to enter even the first code that I entered in the previous episode like at all. You can just straight away use this code right off the bat to gain all these features that I already got in the previous episode and that I'll be getting right now. Keep in mind that this code is not working for level 3 access codes. For that, yeah, you will need to have one more other code. So again, let's start off with our wallpapers. So this code right over here, 205 and 9, gives us access to UFO wallpaper. As you can see now, our borders around messages are changed, so now we have these fancy rainbows and stars. So okay, and regarding level 2 access codes, there's one more wallpaper that we can get. So let's see now. The code for this wallpaper is H7. Wait for it. H and 5. Alright, and now we get Control Center wallpaper. As you can see, our borders around messages have changed once again. So this is it for wallpapers in regards to level 2 access codes. So now let's fiddle around with our, well, Loli dress-up simulation. You know, let's go for these Jill costumes. So yeah, speaking about this game and Jill herself, outside of Jill Dozer, she only appeared in Super Smash Bros. Brawl as a assist trophy, and also she appeared in that prologue comic that I was mentioning to you. And outside of this game, these are only 2 cameo appearances that she made. So yeah, anyway, here we entered the code for our first costume, which were Thief Threads, and now we'll be entering the code for our second costume. So yeah, I really wish there was a sequel to this game, but you know, knowing Game Freak, how they work, they usually concentrate on Pokemon franchise and they rarely release some obscure titles that will never receive a follow-up for whatever reason, sadly. Okay, so this code 2458 is for Inspector Uniform, as you can see. And yeah, in regards to level 2 access codes, we have one more code here, which won't be a dress-up code, but will be a pretty interesting code. So let's see. The code for this one was 78 and 67. Okay, so once you enter this code, we get... wait for it! Full gearbox. So this is pretty interesting code, because, well, this is kind of like a cheat code that gives you really awesome benefit. It's pretty broken cheat code, this one, full gearbox, because you need to enter this cheat code and you need to have all the treasures in the game to actually get the benefit out of it, because this full gearbox will only appear if you have all the treasures in the game. And yeah, let's save our game and let's check all our costumes that we got currently, and also check this full gearbox itself. So first we got Thief Fred's. So Thief Fred's was that costume, that black one, which I have here, and the other one was Inspector Uniform. As you can see, yeah, in Inspector Uniform outfit we almost look like, well, Carrie, Detective Carrie, so... and yeah, this Thief Fred's outfit kinda resembles Skulkers a bit, so yeah, it's pretty interesting, so... But yeah, speaking about full gearbox, what it lets you to do when you enter that cheat code and you have all the treasures in the game, it lets you start all levels in the game with all 3 gears instantly. So basically you don't need to find all the gears in that particular level. So yeah, it's a pretty broken cheat, I have to say. And to actually use full gearbox, you see my map pointer kinda changed here. So what I did to actually change it, I had to hold down R and press select on this world map screen. So that's how you change your marker there. So let's see what happens. You see, for example, I entered this Dozer training course, and I start right off the bat with all 3 gears. So yeah, usually you start all the levels in the game with only 1 gear, but this code, this full gearbox code, gives you all the gears. It's pretty pointless because you already kinda got all the treasures, right? But yeah, I guess it's just for fun, so... Okay, so now we'll be entering level 3 access code to gain access to all the next treasures that we'll gain access to. And also you can use this code to gain access to all the previous goodies that we received in this episode and in the previous one. So technically you only need 1 access code, which is this one, level 3 access code, to gain benefits of all the goodies that this game has to offer for you in this Enigma machine room. So, and speaking about access codes themselves, remember how I told you that it's really important to input them in the proper socket order? So you can't just, you know, fiddle around with the first socket, with the second one, with the third one, and with the fourth one. No, you need to enter them in the particular order. That only applies to level codes themselves. It's not applied to these cheat codes that we are entering here to get all these wallpapers, all these clothes, and all these other miscellaneous things. So yeah, that's the thing that you have to remember. So this code 5074 is for happy wallpaper, where yeah, our borders change to clouds. And yeah, this is the only wallpaper that you can get in level 3 access codes. So now we'll go for our costumes once again. So this code 5854 is for blue overalls. So yeah, all these next costumes that I'll be getting right now, they are pretty interesting because these are the only costumes in the game that received some regional changes. I'll talk about them a bit later, but what you need to remember about these costumes is that they all pay a tribute to some kind of game that either Game Freak or Nintendo made. So, but they are changed in different versions of the game, and I'll talk about these changes a bit later. So, okay, and this code gives us nurse uniform. So as you can see, yeah, there are many ways how you can dress up your Loli in this game, but I wish all these ways were much more useful, because as you can see, they are just cosmetic changes, nothing too fancy. And yeah, that's pretty much it, so I really wish there was some more use to them, so... Alright, next code, so 2828 gives us... stylish skirt. Alright. And once again, guys, in case you know how to get all these codes in-game, let me know, really, because I really have no idea how these codes can be obtained in the game. So, because these numbers, they are not related to anything, like, at all. You cannot find anything hinting even to them, to these numbers, in the game, like, at all. So, yeah, I really have no idea why there is this Enigma machine, like, in the first place in this game, because it's, yeah, it's pretty obscure. So, yeah. Considering, you know, all these goodies, they are fancy and all, but they are, like, not super fancy. They are not, like, super secret things that you can get in this game. You know, they are kind of pretty obvious things. And yeah, I'm pretty amazed that Game Freak went so far to implement something so ridiculously hard to understand and so ridiculously hard to get, you know, in the game in regards to these numbers and stuff. So yeah, basically accessing these features, which are for the most part only just cosmetic changes, is a pretty big hassle, I have to say. So alright, and this code is for, yeah, school clothes, which are, well, our last clothing that you can obtain here. So I have still one more code here, which is also very, very interesting code, which gives you some miscellaneous stuff. So let's see, the code for this one was 70 and 7, wait for it, 3. So this code gives you our final code that you can obtain here in this Enigma room, which is the code for Master Seal. So Master Seal, it's pretty interesting treasure. It gives you access to hard mode. So what changes there are in hard mode I'll talk about a bit later, but first, yeah, let's head on to our Drill Dozer trailer and let's check out all these new costumes that we got, and let's talk about what they actually represent. Because remember, I told you that all these level 3 code costumes, they are pretty interesting ones. They represent some kind of one game that either Game Freak or Nintendo has made. So let's see. As you can see, Jill has many different clothing options right now. So she has now costume for almost every occasion in her life, pretty much. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. So the first interesting costume that we got here was blue overalls. As you can see, this costume represents Mario. So yeah. So the second one was nurse uniform. This nurse uniform actually represents a game made by Game Freak, which is called Click Medic. So, and yeah, for whatever reason I thought this is the stylish skirt, but no, it was actually school clothes. This is the stylish skirt here. Yeah, this outfit actually represents a game made by Game Freak, which is called Mandel Palace. So, alright, and 2 more costumes. So futuristic clothes, which is this costume. This costume actually represents game Pulse Man, made by Game Freak. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And yeah, you already saw here the final costume that you got, school clothes. Well, you can kind of see the obviousness. It actually represents, well, the main franchise of Game Freak, which is Pokemon. So so yeah, but yeah, speaking of these costumes, they have some regional changes, and I'll speak about them just in a moment. So basically, in different versions of the game, they actually look differently. I don't know why exactly, but yeah, it's pretty interesting how they made these changes, and they're not too big of a changes overall, but still, you know, Game Freak went quite a mile for these changes for whatever reason. So once again, you can view here all the costumes that there are in the game. To my knowledge, in case you know some more codes for these extra features that I'm showing you in these 2 episodes, let me know. But yeah, so far it's everything that I have to show, you know. We are almost done with the game, so yeah, this is also the final episode. So let's save our game, and let's actually, yeah, talk about these costumes first. Then I'll reset the game and we'll talk about this Master Seal. So yeah, you see these level 3 costumes that we got, these 5 final ones. In other versions of the game, they look differently. So here's the screenshot that I compiled to yeah, give you a better understanding in regards to these costumes, how they are changed throughout game versions. So yeah, overall, as you can see, these costumes look exactly the same throughout the versions. As you can see, there are not too much changes overall throughout these whole versions. The only two biggest differences are futuristic clothes, costume. As you can see, in Japan and Europe it's completely different. It actually resembles not Pulseman like it does in North America, but it actually represents Mr. Driller for whatever reason, so... I think the reason for this change is just that in Japan and Europe, I guess everyone knows about Pulseman? I'm not quite sure. Well, maybe in Japan, but I don't think that in Europe many people know about Pulseman. And yeah, as you can see, the other biggest change was for school clothes costume. In North America, it, well, obviously represents Pokemon franchise, but in Japan and Europe, it's actually a completely different costume. In fact, if this costume was in this game, in this version that I was playing, which is North American version, yeah, in fact, that costume then would be my favorite one, probably, because it just looks so fun and silly, you know? Jill has these fancy hypnotizing glasses on her and stuff, so... But yeah, I think the reasoning for this change is just that in Japan, everyone knows about Pokemon, you know, it's pretty obvious, but in North America maybe not so much, although in recent years many people already know about it. But simply, you know, all these changes, they are just implemented here, in my opinion, so that North Americans would have more exposure to these obscure titles that either Nintendo or Game Freak made. So basically, North American changes to these costumes, they kinda more imply the persona of that particular character that these costumes represent. So that's my reasoning for these changes. And speaking about European version, so fun fact about European version that originally European version was not even released like at all, although later on it was revealed that European version was compiled initially, but for whatever reason was never released in Europe. It was only released in Europe actually 10 years after on Virtual Console. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. So there were some rumors why Europeans were not receiving Dozer initially. One of the rumors was that because this rumble motor, which is built in their cartridge, had mercury in it. I don't know if it's exactly true, but that's what I heard. So yeah, speaking about European version is considered kind of like PAL version, so it's applied both to Europe and Australia in Dozer's case. So yeah, basically that Virtual Console version, which was released 10 years after the original release, it was that European version which was considered to be released initially, but which never received a physical release initially for whatever reason. So they finally released it 10 years after, so... And the fun fact about all these changes is that, you know, you may think that North American changes to these costumes should be applied the same way to European version, to PAL version of the game, but actually it's not true. For whatever reason, Game Freak decided to keep costumes that were present in Japanese version in European version. So yeah, I don't know what was the reasoning for that. So basically they changed European version to represent the original version when we are speaking about these costumes, you know, so... So yeah, here's some trivia to you about these costumes. So now let's proceed further and let's talk about that yeah, mysterious Master Seal that we got earlier. Alright, so once you enter the code for the Master Seal and you save your game and reset it, you kinda end up here. So yeah, if you choose new game file here and if you hold down L plus R and hit start and then choose this file, you gain access to hard mode. As you can see, this red Dozer trailer is being highlighted. This hard appears next to it, which means, well, we can play hard mode now. And the hard mode is super hard in this game. I'm not even kidding, it's meant for, well, hardcore people, like for real. Overall, the game, you know, it's kind of like meant for people who are kinda not so good at Castlevanias, Metroids and Mega Man, so you can test your skills here before playing those games, but hard game mode for this game is maybe even harder than those previous games. So as you can see, you start off with 1 HP, and this 1 HP stays like that forever for the rest of the game. I'm not even kidding. So basically what you'll be doing in this whole playthrough, you'll be saving your game just like that in each and every screen where you traverse, simply because well, everything can kill you in one hit. So, and if you save your game in this game through your start menu, you can kind of save wherever you want. So basically once you return to that game, you are being returned to that screen, you know, where you saved your game. So basically, yeah, hard mode is really hard. Everything can one-shot you instantly. There are no healing restoration items like at all. And as you can see, for example, here I managed to play through a bit this hard mode, and I can buy stuff at merchant shop now, but apparently it's not actually so. As you can see, energy tank, this is the first energy tank that's available for you here in merchant shop, and I cannot buy it even if I have enough chips for it. So I assume you can buy maps and drill bits, but energy, no. Game says no, you cannot buy energy tanks in this mode like at all, even though they are available to you. So okay, so you see this little fry, so basically when you touch him, you die. And the same thing applies to all other enemies in this game. So yeah, hard mode is hard. So one other change from the regular game is that when you die, as you can see, merchant offers you to continue with less chips than in normal mode. I think in normal mode you had to pay 50 chips to continue, but here you need to pay only 10. So but yeah guys, this is it for this game. So we are done with it. I showed you everything that I know about this game, and yeah, really hopefully you enjoyed this whole let's play. Hopefully you enjoyed this third final season as well. And yeah, I already made my review of this game, and yeah, what can I say? If you're bad at Metroids, if you're bad at Castlevanias, if you are bad at Mega Man, then definitely give this game a shot. So who knows, maybe after playing this game you'll finally be able to tackle those much more harder games. So, and in case there were some sound issues during this recording, it's because my chipmunks decided to visit me again. So basically, yeah, I am testing now new recording equipment. I tested it before a bit, but I always had this problem with it that sometimes my voice was being sped up, or the game audio was being sped up, or sometimes either the voice or the game audio was being just cut off at times. So I don't know what's the issue with that, so hopefully, yeah, it won't happen again. But in case that happens, then, well, you need to know that chipmunks visit me again, you know. But yeah guys, what can I say? Hopefully you enjoyed this awesome game, and see you all in the next Let's Play. And remember that there's small little Loli inside all of us. Cheers.